Evening. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Andy.
Hello. How's it going, Joe?
Good. Nice to finally see/meet you virtually.
Yes, indeed.
And Adam, always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh, that's right. You were on the December one, so you didn't get to see Andy's grand introduction.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic. Sweet. So, gentlemen, thank you for meeting on the snowy Sunday of a holiday weekend. We have 40 or so adult leaders looking to hear what we have to say this month about what we have going for camp. So what I wanted to share with you, gentlemen, is any draft that you have of like any program that you are ready to go with, please send it to me and Tyler because we are trying to just kind of rip stuff out and put it into our marketing plan so we can start promoting your camps for you. We want to make sure that you guys have the most visibility that we've had in a long time. We really want to get some program highlights put in for some geofencing we're going to be doing at OPIC and the Super Klondike. We want to make sure that people know camp registration is open and every program that we want to promote is worth attending. So if you guys have any questions or want to have me look at something before you feel it's ready to go or back to another round of revision, please send it along because I'd like to read it. So
I just shared mine with you.
Sweet.
So
And then
you'll see there's a few comments from Kelly and I just, want just a couple of small things to research and work out. I've had a crazy week at school.
I
But
hear you.
otherwise everything else is pretty much good to go.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah.
And then Adam, you and I met after Andy and I met the other day, and you pretty much the same spot, I take it, that
Yeah,
with yours.
pretty much ready to go. I just couple things. I think I changed everything I needed to for now.
Okay. So if
I'll make a new version of it.
so if we feel that we can put out version 1 of our program guides just to get the conversations going this week, I'm happy to include that with the your respective camps newsletters if that's something you guys feel comfortable doing. If again we make sure all revisions and program updates that you have are good to go. I mean, how are you sitting with your advancement stuff right now for both camps? You have an advancement, and don't you have like an advancement sheet, Joe, for Carpenter? Doesn't Kristen put
Yeah.
something together?
Yep, Kelly and Kristen put it together last year. I think the plan will be eventually for them to get together and see if it needs any revisions based on any new program changes. But if there haven't been any crazy Cub Scout program changes, then it's probably also good to go.
Okay.
But I'll rely on Kristen for the answer to that.
Yeah, if we could just because I set the goal with GSR for February 1st for getting the merit badge. Is it is it explainer? Or do you call it a guide? What's the terminology
Yeah,
you
I
use?
just the program guide. All the merit badges and everything is pretty much good. The only thing that I think would eventually have tweaks would just be like the afternoon activities. I haven't really tweaked those or like figured out which if I want to offer other ones that I've come up with, but
So honestly,
I'm gonna do registration for those a little bit later anyways. The merit badge is what matters, and that's what's ready to go.
right.
Right.
I would say pose that in your camp directors with your folks tonight and see like what they'd prefer. Like if they would, want the same kind of activities or if they would want something new.
Yeah, I have the
You know,
couple older versions of the GSR program guides too, so I'm gonna look at those and see what we used to offer because there's definitely
okay,
more. What's
gotcha.
Tyler's email? Because of course I type Tyler Yankee and I see 50 different things.
Yeah, so that's hold on. It'd be better for me to just open it up on my phone. I'm working off one monitor right now.
Yeah.
So Phil texted me wishing us luck tonight. He could make this one, but I get it. We all have stuff going on. So, um, hold on a second. Where is it? Tyler. I think it says Tyler.Yankee at scouting.
Okay. I see everything but there's the at scouting.
Yep.
He's got the
Yep.
NH scouting,
Tyler
he's got
dot
DWC camping, he's got he's got them all.
Yeah. So Tyler.Yankey at
Cool.
scouting. Yep. Yeah, just send it that way. and then we can start ripping. And what we're gonna do, I think I showed you guys all the those 9-second clips of snippets for camping of just from what they took from the professional shoot the other year. We're gonna start putting those out with program highlights and stuff as part of the marketing plan. So just trying to get engagement and get people to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I
Let's
guess,
see.
I mean, the big thing I guess you can announce with our program guide is that we know what the theme that we're going to do this year is. It's going to be like a Western theme. So
I'll leave that for you to plug in, in
yeah,
your
so I'll
session
talk
tonight.
about that today.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we should talk about tonight, definitely. And we include that in any revision of promotional materials that we want to try and bang off. What I think would be important as far as whatever we
Oh, man, I lost him for a second.
what I think is important for whatever we post this week is that it does not include something that's not finalized.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we could have merit badge stuff like listing, but if we're not really ready, if there's even the smallest thing that is not accurate as to what we're gonna do, then better to have it omitted.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have any of that
correct
whitewater rafting stuff or any of that stuff about going over
Right.
gun stock. None of that's in there. That's really the only things that we would be adding to it.
Right.
So,
Right.
So
Right. Good. And that's fine. And that can be that can be because that's a program segment or a silo. So if we were to say for Joe, if we were to say we wanted to we've been talking tweaking the bridge AOL program, right? We could we could say we have an update for that coming soon, and then we reintroduce it, right? So same thing with you guys. Is Voyager, Belknap, High Adventure, whatever it ends up being, we can just hold off on that for now and then say we have more program announcements coming, right? So it's this is the what you can always expect, right? So everyone has their foundation and orientation, and then anything bonus or new, that's gravy, right? That there's no expectation from them for that right now.
Yeah,
So,
I have something in there that talks about a backpacking program, but it's extremely vague. It's just this is what it can be, and
right. And Tyler and I
basically say
talked
we're
about
going to do
that.
something.
Tyler and I talked about that. Is just basically it's I have to do more homework on with the climbing committee on just some of the aspects of the zip line stuff, and then I really wanted to wait till the BSA guard stuff. So if you have anything BSA guard related, I would hold that.
I think I added because we obviously had BSA guard was an option for a program that we offered, and I think I added under waterfront aquatics. Yeah, I said effective December 31st, 2024. BSA discontinued BSA guard lifeguarding. As a result, is no longer a program offering.
Yeah, got it.
That's just all it says for now.
Sweet. A big thing. I think I said it to only Adam, but because the shuttle vans are aspects of our council logistics, I just say to all three of you that we have one shuttle van that smells like rotten fish at the moment. Yeah. So I'm in conversation with First Student. They're going to be sending me over a quote just as a backup if we can't desincify the shuttle van, because if it's transporting staff or transporting campers for anything council wide, anything related to that, I just want to let you guys know, I'm pursuing a quote just to have in our back pocket.
We could send that van to camp school with our staff.
Do you actually want them to show up?
They'll just probably take their own car.
right?
We can't have that.
So, let's see. So pretty much, the big thing I think we can just kind of plug tonight is that we are ready to accept requests for camp promotions. So just putting that Google form out, everyone's seen it at this point, right? How it looks in our back end and how we can track it. We all comfortable with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll plug that tonight and then we can start sorting and figuring out how we want to go from there. Um, Tyler shared a Canva folder with me that I just got back from Maine, so I hadn't had the chance to look at it yet. But he sent me a Canva folder that has all of our camping team stuff for this year that we're going to start compiling. So thank you for sending you guys the stuff over, but we'll start building some of that stuff for you for promotional material. So flyers, Joe, you made your own flyers on the fly, no pun intended, for that round table, but I want to make sure that you guys have the materials you want. So besides flyers and business cards for the camp directors, what other things are you guys looking for? Maybe
I
that
mean,
could be a goal tonight when you're in their meetings. Like, when we come to do a camp promotion, what do you want us to come with? Like, what would you know what I mean? Like, how could you sell a new parent on camp, right? Like, kind of
well, I mean, and
workshop it.
hopefully I didn't miss this part, but what always helps, and we talked about this 2 directors meetings ago, and 2 months in, we still don't have an answer, is a video that we can use to promote the camps after all of that money was paid to make those awesome videos, and we still haven't seen it. And 2 months later, still no answer about it. And we even said it's as simple as taking that video that scrolls across the website and adding music or something. I don't understand, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry if this comes off wrong, but I just don't understand what the issue here is.
Issue is I'm I haven't had time to get in front of Tyler, and I've been a little spread thin, to be honest with you. So that's really the answer. It's on the list, it's known, but now that Tyler and I are refocused, we have ourselves aligned. We actually have program content from you guys to make sure it's correct, because that was the last ingredient, and now we are ready to put this package together for you guys to have to go to these camp promotions. So that's really what it comes down to. So him and I are meeting next Thursday to wrap that stuff up. I'm meeting with the Easter Seals on Thursday as well, just so GSR guys know. And then on Wednesday for both camps, I'm meeting with the guy to start talking about implementing the orienteering courses for both camps. So just things for you guys to talk about, to give you guys some stuff. Anything else that you guys want to throw at me right now? I can start with you, Joe, on your guys' side once we break out, and then I can jump over to GSR. You guys feel like you got everything you need right now?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have many updates at all for Carpenter's side because we're just still in the process of planning. People are registering, they're sending questions when they have them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been pretty easy over on the Carpenter side, and we don't have any huge changes to our program yet, so
Okay.
nothing crazy. And I doubt I'm going to get many questions outside of the same ones, honestly. So,
That's
anyway,
fair.
time to let him in. It's 7.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so when we break out, we have to remember to also record the Carpenter breakout session this month, so we can actually provide that.
I don't know that I can. I've
So
never.
that's why I'm gonna hop into you first, Joe. Is just we have to remind ourselves before we get started in that breakout room that just to click record. That's all.
I know, but I don't have the record button.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, just before we jump into it, that's all I'm saying. All right, you ready?
I guess.
Just want to say that I'm checking in from cabin 2 at camp, and we have about 2 inches of snow on the ground.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Randy. All right, so we are just at 7:02 now. We have 37 folks in the room right now, and I feel that's good enough to get started. So just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening on a snowy and late holiday weekend here. We appreciate your time, and we have some exciting stuff to talk about. Mostly tonight, between the camps, we're going to be focusing on camp promotions and the opportunity we all have to, do a better job promoting and getting more kids to camp. So, what I want to start out with is, do I have any opening remarks from the camp directors, just to the whole group? I'm going to start with Andy.
Hi, everybody. Glad to see you all at my second meeting. Pretty excited here, and I've met a handful of you now, but only a handful. We'll continue to meet folk both virtually and through email and so forth over the next couple of months. Let's see. Now that I've been here for a month and a couple of days, I'm kind of getting more up to speed and have better access to, in my brain, to information to be answering your questions and helping you out more effectively than I was just a few weeks ago. So definitely make note of my email address and reach out with any questions at all. Thanks. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Andy. And now, Joe, your turn. Just any one thing you want to address, as because we had both again, Scouts, PSA, and Cub Scout level here, so might as well just address the group.
Yeah, definitely. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Director's Chat. Happy New Year. Sorry that I wasn't able to be at the last one in December, but happy to be back now. Something that I put in the chat that's going to be really, really helpful to us when we make the breakout rooms. This only goes for Camp Carpenter folks, and some folks have already done it, so thank you for that. Is if you could go ahead and put CC on your name. If you belong to the Camp Carpenter breakout room, the main one will stay as GSR, and then we'll break off for Camp Carpenter stuff. And also welcome to my program director, Kristen Farrell, as well, making a surprise appearance tonight. And really excited to talk to you guys and see what questions you have, or if you have been doing this a lot and you don't really have any questions and you're just here to see what else we're going to talk about tonight. So thanks and welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Joe. And now we are going to just open up our room here, and I'm going to start assigning folks over there. So one moment, I'm going to send Joe over there first, and Kristen, and anyone with a CC, you're going to follow behind. Okay, I believe I have everyone for Camp Carpenter. If you haven't put your CC in your name here, then I don't see. Oh, Kristen needs to be put back in. Okay. All right. Okay. Andy, I'll let you lead. Adam, if he or Scott, if one of you guys, while the program director or camp director is talking, if you could just toss any lingering carpenter folks that come into the carpenter breakout room, we should have admin to that. Scott.
All right. I think we should be able to figure that out. Or
Yeah,
what?
I gave co-host to Scott, Adam, and Andy, so you guys can get started there. All right.
All right.
I will be hopping over to Carpenter for a few minutes to just answer questions for them. If you just want, maybe you guys have some questions for me, I'll shoot back over and I can start answering them. Okay.
Okie doke.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Thanks. Don't forget to hit record.
I will not forget to hit record this.
All righty. Well, hi everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Glad that you're all here. We only have a few things I think on our agenda to talk about. So hopefully you have some questions and things that can spur a little discussion. Let's see the first couple of big announcements, and if I don't get all the details right, I think Adam or Scott can jump in. But first off is the camp staff application is live. So if you have any youth or adults in your units that are interested in spending the summer at beautiful Griswold Scout Reservation, then have them fill out an application. And we'll get that information, and we can tag back, and we can arrange for phone calls or interviews or whatever seems to be whatever needs to be will be the most effective for us. So I do get a notification when somebody fills that out. I do get a notification pretty quickly. They do need to include an email address, and if they're under 18, part of the questionnaire does include a parent email address. So I'll need to include that. They will need to include that so that if I reply to a youth, I can be replying to an associated adult as well to make sure that we're covered there. But that is at the council website. You can go to the GSR page, and there is a camp staff application. I think it says join us on staff or something along those lines. And it will bring you to the form to fill out. So that's the biggest thing, I think, right off the bat. We have let's see, we had a few people have already from last year have already expressed interest in coming back on board, but especially for those under 18, a lot of that has not been nailed down yet. So definitely there are places for people to apply, especially for older scouts who already have a lifeguard certification, to just kind of give you a teaser on other stuff that we'll be hitting upon. So let's see. I think that's the first biggest thing. And then the other thing is also live at the website is our camp promotional request form. With that, again, it's a tab right there. I think there's one for each camp. But it'll send you to a Google Doc form to fill out. It gives us all the information that we'll need so that we can best service your camp promotional needs for your unit. So again, that'll be pretty self-explanatory once you go there. And as I said earlier, if you have any questions about either of the forms, or if you fill out the form, either of the forms, and you want to contact me directly, you can at my email address, which is andy.aldis@dwccamping.com. Let's see. Looking at comments first, are there any immediate questions on either of those two items? Kind of bouncing back between the two pages to see if I see any hands up. And there we go. Yep. Thank you, Scott, for posting those. All right. Let's see. Other things to move on with. Let's see. I don't think our newsletter has come out yet, so I'll give you a sneak preview. Our staff member highlight is going to be Andrew Diamond, who is coming back as our camp commissioner, head commissioner, for the summer. And he has a fantastic team lined up, many of which are returning, reprising their roles as part of his team from last year. We're pretty excited about that. That's really going to help me and Adam, Adam, of course, has been here for years, but this is his first time as program director. So I think it'll be great to have somebody who is already experienced as being a part of the Key Three at camp to give all of you a bit of consistency, and so you can kind of know what to expect in some manners, and at least know a face when you get to camp and hear his team shows up at your campsite. You'll be more relaxed and feel at home. So that's kind of what I wanted to hit upon. Let's see. Kind of looking at our list of things to talk about. Adam, did you want to talk about BSA guard stuff, or do you want me to give a recap of because I was definitely at the uh, webinar, or observed the webinar. I was actually here in my house, but I observed the webinar last Wednesday, and could certainly speak on it if you want me to.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make that, so if you could.
Absolutely. Essentially, in a nutshell, for those who did not have an opportunity to attend, it's perfectly fine. It definitely pertained more to camp directors and council personnel who deal with camp swimming activities. So the biggest stuff, and I'm looking down at my notes here, the biggest stuff is essentially, if you're aware of the notification that we got from National, that Scouting is no longer doing certifying lifeguards. There will be no more lifeguard BSA or any equivalent. Essentially, the why is the easiest way to say it is National doesn't have the wherewithal to deal with it as a program anymore. There was lots of nitty gritty, but because it is a constantly changing requirement, constantly changing thing. They're just not going to be able to keep up with it. And it's much easier to, as the scouts already have a working partnership with the Red Cross. Because we already have a relationship with the Red Cross, and they're recognized nationally across not just Boy Scouts, not just Scouting, but every other organization out there that has a pool or swimming or of any kind. They are already supplying lifeguards. They're already training lifeguards. They're already training lifeguard trainers, which is the key part for us, um, because we will be able to send somebody to get Red Cross certified to train lifeguards, at which point that person will be able to train camp staff lifeguards to in getting a Red Cross certification. Um, I haven't had a chance to talk to Adam about this, but I'll throw it out there in front of everybody right now, anyways. I don't think we're going to have, GSR is going to have the wherewithal to be able to offer Red Cross lifeguard certifications for campers this summer. I just don't see it happening. So maybe that's something we might be able to get a handle on in future years, but it is highly unlikely this summer. I'm not going to say no because I don't like to, but it is highly unlikely. Just so that we're there. Um, uh, and that's really kind of so like some things make it a little easier because the Red Cross rules have different age requirements than Scouting does. So we could certify somebody who is younger than 21 to be a lifeguard instructor, who would then certify or qualify our Red Cross lifeguards. So that opens that up for us a little bit, makes it a little bit easier for both camps to qualify somebody to be that instructor. So again, all of this just really was handed out a few days ago on Wednesday. So we're figuring out all of that. As we do have a relationship with the Red Cross, there's certain, depending on what our contract the council has with the Red Cross, there are different group rates, deals, and so forth that we can work to get trainings for the camp staffs for all the camps. So I think that kind of wraps that up. But what the for all of you, for everybody who has a scout or scouter that currently has a guard certification from camp, the expiration date on that is good. They didn't cancel everybody's certifications that they got last summer or the summer before. The expiration date is still good. We're just not giving out any more certifications. So hopefully that answers that. Let's see. Yeah, Adam, do you have any program stuff do you wanted to jump on while I investigate one of the questions here in the comments?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at the website. I don't actually see the link for that form, so that'll be a John Grace question when he pops back in.
Okay.
As for program, so we're hoping, I think we talked about to have the newsletter out for February 1st, which will also have information on the program guide. We have version 1 of the program guide that is ready to go out to you guys when that newsletter drops. So hopefully February 1st, program guide will come out. You'll be able to see what new merit badge offerings we have this summer, merit badge schedule, and some new day-long program offering as well. And we have some other stuff that are in the background works that have a possibility of being an option as well this summer. So as me and John Grace work on a couple things, we hope to bring some more stuff to the program. But that stuff's still not ready. But version 1 of the program guide with all the merit badges will go out, as well as the Black Pug registration will hopefully come out, be available soon after that. I've been working getting the schedule situated. There's Black Pug's giving me some issues right now, and as well as a prerequisite guide will come out alongside with the Black Pug registration, especially with the addition of all the new merit badge requirement changes that came out this year. I have to go through every single merit badge individually, make sure, check what requirements changed and if there's any new prereqs or prereqs that don't exist anymore. So that's been a big thing working on. As well as programs. So we always do a theme on Fridays. If you remember from coming to camp the last few years, we've been doing a luau theme. We're actually going to be changing that this summer, especially with the addition of our new cowboy action range. We're going to go with a Western theme this summer. So stay tuned, I guess, for more details and information about what we're going to do as a Western camp on Fridays. And that's really all I have right now. Be more handy if you have other stuff or if anyone has questions about things.
Yeah, let me check, see what else we had on our agenda. Those were the big things on the agenda. So looking back, yeah, what do we have for questions from people? Definitely unmute and speak up, and hopefully you'll appear on the screen if Zoom is doing its thing right.
Hi, I have a couple questions. My name is Aaron Tuttle. I'm actually from New York. Our troop is looking to attend the first time this year for you guys. Do you guys want pre-swim qualification? Like if we go to a local pool that has a lifeguard and they sign off on it, we can submit it ahead of time to help ease the check-in process on Sundays?
I believe troops have done that in the past. We do also do the swim checks right on. It's a part of the tour for the swim checks on Sundays, so you can do that. We just have to check with how our waterfront director and how that stuff works. I haven't really dealt with that in the past. I don't know, Andy, if you've dealt with that kind of stuff with the pre-swim checks before.
Right. I've seen it done a couple of different ways at other camps. Uh, Usually it needs to be essentially administered by an approved person. So hopefully there's somebody who has a waterfront director certification, or somebody who our waterfront director could authorize. That's how I've seen it in the past. So we'll have to double check to see exactly his feelings on that, especially as you're probably going to be wanting to do that closer to home. And I don't know that we know somebody there, so we may need to meet, interview a qualified person from your area to provide that service for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've done it in the past where we've actually gone to one of our local colleges or universities and had their aquatics director, I guess, sign off on it. So I wasn't sure if that would meet the standards for you guys. But again, it's your camp, so we have to use your judgment.
Right. I would imagine something like that would probably work. But like I said, will need to definitely nail that down with our our waterfront director to make sure that that's going to work. Because I don't know if there's anything different or new in our regulations.
Right. I have two more questions. I don't want to ask. I don't want to keep up you guys. Do you guys offer camperships for out of council troops? Or is there some, I don't know if you guys call it camperships. We've gone to other camps where it's camperships.
We do have camperships. I know that we're working on the forms for that. So those will go live at our website soon. But I don't know if we offer camperships for out of council. So that's a question for John when he comes back to join us.
Okay, and my last question
also
is
note that for you.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Physically writing that down so I can make sure that we get back to you.
Okay, and then my last question is for medical forms. If I have a scout whose medical form is expires on the 26th of July and we're planning to attend the 20th to the 26th, does he need a new medical before attending camp, or is he good for that week?
I think technically you should be good.
Okay.
And I see another medical form question. So yeah, med forms will be done through Camp Docs, similar to last year as well. So be able to
I'm
upload.
not. I'm okay. I was gonna say I'm not familiar with with MedDocs because we haven't used that before.
Yeah, it's I'm sure they'll when it actually like goes live, we'll probably talk more about it. It's fairly simple to
Okay.
use stuff.
Thank you, guys.
I guess I'll quickly just answer our adult showers rebuilt. So Carter Lodge still is how it was last summer, in little charred, little ripped apart on the inside. Obviously, we do have the Bell Administration Building open to adult leaders for air conditioning, Wi-Fi, just a leader space, as well as there's bathrooms and showers available there. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
All right. And looking in the chat, thanks, Amanda. I will we'll check with Phil, but we can also catch John up to that question. And half second, I'm looking at. So John, the question from Aaron Tuttle out of New York is, are camperships for our camp available to out of council scouts?
I'm sorry, I got kicked out. I didn't hear what you just said. I apologize. I just got back in.
All good. So they were just rephrasing your question for me as I was just coming into the room when I guess it was posed or being talked about. So just your question regards camperships being applicable for out of state or out of council scouts. So we have, I believe, because we put last year we were accepting out of council, multi-council, because we have what council are you from? Field.
We're from the Greater Hudson Valley Council.
Right. So I believe that it still applies. And I'm going to follow up on that before giving a definitive, very strong answer, because I was actually not with the council at the time that they launched the program last year. So I'll have to follow up. Actually, I'm going to be in the office on Tuesday, so I can figure out what the policy was last year and what we're prepared to offer for this year. So we're going to be launching the campership application form in this month's Griswold Gazette newsletter. So there'll be more comprehensive information. We just reviewed it, and I was engaging with the camp directors and the folks that were working on it last year, just on making sure we got the right feedback on what we need to edit and update and revise in this process. So we will have that in a concise, comprehensive form in this month's newsletter coming out this week.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions that were coming up that you want me to make me aware of, or you want to throw my way, guys?
Well, I'm still reading. Just read Christina Donahue's question, and as far as meals, and I think the real answer there is, I hope so. I would like to be able to offer your troop to send so many scouts to the dining hall and have so many scouts have an in camp cooking experience. But I think John and I are still working on some of the business end of what's going to happen in the dining hall. So again, like I said earlier, I don't want to say no. I would love to say yes, but I'm personally, I'm leaning 80% towards wanting to say yes or more, but some of that may land on what we do with our contract with food services this year, which is not 100% solidified. And again, sorry, that's a little wishy-washy, but hopefully that gives you at least enough of an answer for a week or two, we should have an answer before next month's meeting. And I'm writing down your name so I can find this and get back to you as soon as we do have a real answer.
So I'm looking here. I'm wondering if I'm seeing just the Carpenter chat or I'm seeing your chat as well. So I'm recording Carpenter's session, so maybe I can't see.
That could be.
Um,
So she said, I'll read it out. Troop 5 is planning to attend 1 week this year, and but would like to be able to split their experience as far as have one group have more of a traditional main camp, old Hidden Valley experience as far as being in the dining hall and so forth. But part of the troop would like to do a in-site cooking, and she's wondering if the unit can split that way, where some are cooking in site and some are going to the dining hall. Program wise, to answer you, Christina, we'll be operating like we did last year, in which essentially most things are operating right there in the center of the main camp, but there will be the programs that ran off the bell end of the reservation will still be operating. We're still doing horses, the ATV, and all of those activities, logging camp. So uh, assuming that that's what those people are going to want to sign up for, that as far as your programs, sign up will be like it was last year. So the real question that we need to answer is if we can split your troop dining hall and cooking in camp.
I as the dining hall director last year, dealt with all this stuff. I don't see there being a big issue with it. It's definitely very doable. It really just depends if there's a lot of troops doing patrol cooking that week, which limits, we have a limited availability, how many coolers we have and how much troops we can accommodate for patrol cooking. But I mean, for right now, I would say, yeah, we could probably make it work.
I don't see why not. I mean, if you have, if it's, as long as the number really doesn't change, right? Because if we're gonna budget for and buff out, say 30 meals for the week that are going to be cooked in site, that means that we're going to make sure that, those 3 people have 10 days worth of whatever it is, whatever the math ends up being, right? They can make sure they have enough food for those meals. So if you can't have people flip flopping back and forth without it getting a little chaotic. So as long as they're committed to cooking in the site, say 2 patrols worth of your troop are, and then 2 patrols want to go eat in the dining hall, so be it. I don't see an issue with it besides just
I think the main
committing to it logistically.
I think the main question is whether like you click the dining hall or patrol cooking option when you register. I don't think there's something we can really change about that, but that's something we can just kind of talk about in the back end and with the dining
I would
hall.
say, yeah, I would say that was something that, because it's not going to change the price of their experience. So like, I think that's, they're going to pay as long as they pay by the same deadlines and everything for registration. So
yeah,
as long as it's known ahead of time and communicated, and then we can budget for it when we are doing the meal planning for each particular week.
Yeah, the big thing, as long as we know which scouts and adults are the ones eating in camp, just so we can make sure for dietary restriction reasons, so we make sure you have the appropriate food.
and head counts, obviously. So when we're counting people in the dining hall and everything, we know we have the right number of people. So, all right. So I got a question that was sent to me in a direct message, and it was how to subscribe to the newsletter. So I just so everyone knows, been working really diligently with Tyler to get a lot of things updated and new information on the sites, but also have the sites look and be different and better. We think we're pretty much there with the layout of the website now and the web page for each particular camp. So if you go to anyscouting.org/GSR, right in the middle, you'll see it says subscribe to our newsletter right there. And I say, please, like you or anyone in your scouts unit that subscribe to it, because if you get it directly to you, then that's instant, right? You don't have to wait for someone to forward it to you. So we're not going to use that to just spam you with stuff. It's literally just for the once a month newsletter for camping. So that's really what it's for, to make sure that the word gets out, not just through social media, but for um, direct contact with all the parents and leaders that have questions. And hopefully we can answer them with more of these articles and less of these tickets. Kind of the goal here. That's what I got with that. Secondly, have you guys talked about camp promotions at all, or no?
Uh, we mentioned that the sign up. We thought it. When is the sign up going live? Is the question
So
is out
I
there?
realized that I had the link set up incorrectly. So it it was only able to be used by people within the organization. So that has now been changed. So um, again, my chat's acting a little funny. If Adam, maybe you could just snag the responder link from the G Drive there for the Google form. That's going to be it's just the camp promotion request form, and it's the same exact link for the Cub request and the Scouts BSA request. So it all gets filtered into an Excel for us, and then we can sort them by camp, and we can make sure that your unit or event gets a camp promotion, including we're offering online as well. So Zoom, Google Meet, we want to work with those units that we know are going to be outside of our regular radius. This year, our first unit to commit to camp this year was from Pennsylvania, and another one was from Florida. So we want to make sure that if a unit is considering GSR in 2025, they have access to the same promotional opportunities that we have here for our more New England based units. So I think Aaron, you're the one that was from New York. If you guys want to have a camp promotion, we'd love to have the opportunity to hop on a Zoom or something with you and with your scouts to let them ask questions about our program or anything they would want to ask about.
Okay, I'll put it out to the boys, but we meet generally on Sundays at 3:30 in the afternoon outside, so yeah, Zoom might be difficult at that time.
Totally get it, and it happens, right? But just want to let you know that that is an option that we're willing to offer because you guys are willing to hear us out. So on taking a chance on us. So make sure you guys have that opportunity too.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else? Any other lingering questions really we're finding?
Let's see. Um, there was one question which I would ask you, see if there is a council preference before I give the answer. But this way I can learn at the same time. Hopefully, is David Alman from Troop 323 in Exeter is asking about number of allowed leaders. If they are sending both a boy and a girl troop, does each troop get 2 leaders, or are there only 2 leaders for the combined unit?
So I guess, of course, it's going to come down to what does BSA or what is Scouting America. I guess how do we view the registration of is it viewed as one unit as a pilot co-ed unit, or is it viewed as 2 separately registered units that to meet standard and everything for 2 deep leadership that we're meeting those objectives that we've always had to meet for separate units. So if you guys are registered as or going in as one unit now, I guess we have to talk to member care and if they would be more knowledgeable on those rules, because obviously this combined pilot is a new concept for all of us to adjust to. But where do you stand 323? I guess is my question.
From what I understand, there's 4 girls that are in an AOL then that plan to cross into our troop in February, March. So the Scoutmaster had asked me to ask that question just so we were trying to kind of figure out how many leaders we were going to be able to send. Whereas it was kind of 2 units, but I actually wasn't even aware that there was a pilot co-ed unit, whatever you were talking about. So that was kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I guess I would ask that maybe you send a ticket in and ask for myself and for James, the field director. So the two of us can kind of bang our heads together on that one, just to make sure that if there's an opportunity, maybe, I mean, if you guys are open to, if that's your objective, maybe to have your unit become a co-ed pilot, because you have, girl dens coming over from the pack to feed your troop now. We can talk about that aspect, but then also making sure we're meeting the objectives of 2D leadership at camp. So I think it's a two-pronged answer is what I'm gathering here. So I think we'll have
Adam,
to take that off channel.
Yeah, Adam just posted a support at MH Scouting, so we'll formulate an email and send it there.
Perfect. Yep, that'd be great. And then if you want to CC the leader from, so is it from the female troop, or is it from the family pack?
My understanding was that we were going to form a second unit, and the two units were going to go to camp at the same time. But I don't know that our Scoutmaster even knows that there's a co-ed pilot option. So I'll go back and talk to him. I have that email address. Him and I will forward an email to you guys and we'll get it figured out.
I'd appreciate that. And let's see. And Suman, I see you have a kind of a similar question here, that you are one of the co-ed pilots. So this conversation would aid in getting some clarity for you as well, it seems. So what I'm going to do is, if you could, Suman, if you could put your email here in the chat, we can add you to that discovery process, I guess, to make sure that you're included. Because it's new to all of us, right? So we got to figure out what the objective is. Great. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And if I can get an answer quick enough, I might just throw together just a quick explainer and throw that into the this month's newsletter if I can get it in time. I imagine it'd be similar to the family pack unit, but also we have tiger considerations and younger kids, where the ratios change. So Cub Scouting gets a little funky. So we will address that and come up with a better answer for you than what we currently have. All right.
And thank you, Adam. Adam types way faster than I do.
Oh, seriously.
As far as answering in chat.
Fantastic. All right. Fantastic.
Yeah. Any other questions? Especially if you put something in chat that I've missed, definitely speak up.
Diana, yep, I see it. I'll add you to the to that list of adult leaders for pilot program clarity. I'll just kind of leave it at that, clarity. All right.
For the question, do adults share tents or they have their own? Most of the time they will have their own tent. It really just, I guess, depends on how your troop fits into the campsite. It's the best answer I can provide.
Yeah. I did figure out, I believe I executed on it correctly, removing Winnipesaukee from the options of campsites you can select. Just that as we are fluctuating in our campership, but also we're in the process of replacing platforms year over year. Doesn't make sense to keep maintaining platforms we know we're going to replace but aren't using right now. So Winnipesaukee is going to get a rest, but it's not gone forever. So that's what we have camp promotions for. So so that's why Winnipesaukee is not going to be an option this year. But we have plenty of other campsites a little lower on the hill to be able to choose from. Did Jane get a chance to give a NYLT update? I don't know if there's anything else to update from there.
Not yet. Jane, are you here? Yeah, there you are.
Nope. Several of us went to some training yesterday, and we're working on getting our staff together.
Oh, hold on, Jade.
You sound like a
You're
robot.
coming in a little robotic right now.
I'll try that again. How's this? Any better?
No, it's not.
I think that must be on my end now. So, no new change.
No. And Aaron, to speak on the CPAP aspect too, we do recommend, if someone has a CPAP, generally a lot of folks that they end up bringing a battery themselves, they also have the opportunity to charge it. So if it's not something that if a battery is being used that they can't have access to charge their own battery as well. So we have plenty of power bank opportunities too in places that folks can charge their own batteries that they bring as well.
Okay, we actually had an experience with at one camp one year where they had the jump packs, and they must have been used a lot because they didn't hold a full charge over all for the entire night. So my one adult was complaining about that. So I was just making sure.
I think ours are fairly new. They're only a couple of years old, so
one or two years old, and they're not used every week either, from what I observed last year. So, but yeah, I know a lot of like my Scoutmaster would travel with his own jump pack. He could also jump his car too. So he came pretty prepared to that. So yeah, so that's everyone travels differently. So I get it, but I believe that we still plan on having that as an option this year. First come, first serve. First come, first serve, obviously.
Yep.
Right. I had the same thing the last 2 summers. I brought my own just so it was something I was familiar with. But there's definitely places we'll have places to charge. So whether it needs to be charged daily or every other day or something like that, that is certainly easily to accommodate if they have something that they're already using on weekend camping trips. Then you may as well bring it so you know what you're working with.
Absolutely. Fantastic. All right. Awesome. Good questions though. Good. This is good. Jane, you want to try again with an NYLT update?
Is this any better?
Unfortunately not. Well, great. Maybe we can chat offline. We can get you. We can plug you guys in the newsletter as well. I have no problem doing that. If you want to get an update out to folks to make sure they can sign up for NYLT still. Okay, awesome. So I see some Carpenter folks are starting to come in. What do we got here? So NYLT, we are working on staff. Amanda can answer some questions if needed. Sorry about the poor connection. No worries. Thank you, Jane, for trying. Any questions on NYLT before we wrap for the night? Seems like everyone's pretty much questioned out at this point.
Actually, I did have one more question about medications.
Go for it.
Are we allowed to handle them inside, or they have to be turned into the medical officer?
They will have to be turned into the medical officer.
Okay.
Yep, and there is some state law change here in the state of New Hampshire that I personally haven't read yet, but I've talked about with both camps nurses and how we want to make sure that we're in compliance with state law. So when we have a better understanding and how we are going to update our policy, we will communicate that accordingly. So I don't know if it's a drastic change or a minor tweak or a clarification. So we'll have to get back to you on that, but there has been a change.
Okay, is that for scouts and scouters, or just scouts?
Everybody.
Okay. It's just so that's a state, so youth and adult for the state of New Hampshire. So we'll, again, when we understand it, we'll communicate it.
Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, awesome. So without Any other lingering questions at this time? Thank you all for coming. And if you have any other questions, please, you know how to reach out to us. And we want to do our best to get everything out to you guys as soon as possible. So please submit your requests for, you know, camp promotions. Expect to see some content delivered out this next week with our newsletters. And we have more updates coming here beginning of February. So thank you all for coming this evening and have a good night.